Good evening, my name's Alex Campbell and you're watching Dissecting Who. On tonight's episode, Resolution of the Daleks, I guess. The New Year's Eve special. I really like the idea of medieval humans defeating a Dalek, and I actually think this story could have utilised some sequences depicting this battle. It's interesting to contemplate how medieval primitive humans could have defeated a futuristic killing machine.
An army of enemies came together to face an impossible opponent beyond their wildest nightmares.
This guy gets specifically shot down by bandits so they could rob him. Then all they do is quickly check his pockets and move on. They don't take that massive package he was transporting. Bandits would be very thorough. They'd roll him over, they'd check his internal pockets, they'd take his boots, they'd see if he had any weapons on him. And of course they'd take that massive package that he had in his hands. This shot is beautiful. The use of light and shadows, the reflections of the light rippling across the water as the camera pans along slowly. It makes for a compelling composition.
Context recorded, coded and bagged. Whatever it is.
Thanks.
Then later on, this set once again looks beautiful, but the cinematography and the use of shadows all creates great tension and suspense. I thought Chibnall did well to set up these two supporting characters. It's good that we're invested in them when they get thrown into peril later on. And their relationship felt natural and real.
It was more kissy than that, I'd say.
Good, yeah, because it was more than that for me.
Oh, thank God.
I think the scariest part of the Dalek is definitely the creature inside, rather than the metal outer shell. And this new design that they'd chosen for it, stuck to a wall, squirming and weird, it was off-putting and creepy, just as it should have been. The introduction of Ryan's dad in this episode should have taken away from the pacing, but I actually thought it worked really well, largely because it's been set up all season. We're already invested in this because we know his history with Ryan, because of everything that they've gone to the effort of pre-establishing. And I loved the way the Doctor dressed him down as soon as he was introduced. It was brilliant.
Aaron.
You weren't at Grace's funeral.
No.
Ryan waited for you. You let him down.
I thought the reveal that Dalek was clinging to this woman was extremely well handled. I didn't see it coming at all, and the way it was shot with the overexposed light, all the lens flares and the crossfades, it almost felt surrealistic, and it had elements of body horror almost. It was great, and it just shows that you can handle a Dalek properly and make them carry tension and make them be creepy.
All brain and motor functions are under my power.
Please. No.
Silence. See how I control you. Turn. Look.
I also really like the way the Doctor reacted to the Daleks in the story. She was very fearful and worried about their presence the entire story. I just have horrible flashbacks to The Witch's Familiar when these classic monsters were completely misused and Capaldi wasn't afraid of them at all. He was riding around in Davros's chair and had all the stupid jokes. It's just a prime example of how not to handle the Daleks.
So, anyone for Dodgems?
I like the actor they chose to play Ryan's dad. He had a knack for expelling natural sounding dialogue. I also like how his character wasn't just a one-dimensional dirtbag. He was complex and nuanced. He wanted to be a good dad, he just continually made mistakes and let Ryan down. It felt like very good character development and writing, in my opinion.
You get it wrong. But by the time you realize you got it wrong, it's too late.
We didn't see a whole lot of the TARDIS interior in season 11, but they show a really nice wide shot of the console in this story, and I thought, oh, the design actually is really interesting.
Tiny corner of space and time.
No way.
The internal dimensions are bigger than the box's external dimensions. No biggie.
No, that is quite a biggie.
Got time over. Was there anything alien looking that you uncovered?
I thought Jodie did a really good job in this conversation with the Dalek. She come across compassionate when she was talking to the woman, and she come across threatening when she was talking to the Dalek. She still hasn't matched the intensity that Eccleston, Smith, Tennant and Capaldi did in their first seasons, but maybe she doesn't have to.
I know you can hear me. I need you to know we're coming for you. So keep fighting. Mitch is here with us.
I'm not leaving you.
I know you're scared. Keep fighting.
I like the way Unit was shut down in this story. All the Moffat-era Unit stories just didn't encapsulate the feeling that Unit had in Classic Who for me. And I never liked Kate Stewart. I don't know. I didn't like the Unit stories. They didn't work. I don't really know why. It's just the feeling. They didn't feel like Unit to me. It just felt like some shitty government organisation with the same name. So yeah, maybe they're gone for the whole Chibnall era. We'll see, but I don't want to see Kate Stewart back again.
All unit operations were put on hold following financial disputes and subsequent funding withdrawal by the UK's major international partners.
You kidding?
Even just a simple death sequence seemed to be handled more seriously than most other Dalek stories. Just the angle it was shot at and the sound design makes his death far more impactful than most Daleks murdering people that I've seen for a while. I think the original Dalek episode from Eccleston's era, Enter the Dalek from Capaldi's era, and this story are the top 3 Dalek stories of New Who. I think the idea of one Dalek versus the Doctor works a lot better than huge armies of Daleks. You just get more time for dialogue and exploration into these two characters and their opposing ideologies. Also, when the Doctor just keeps on defeating huge armies of Daleks again and again and again, it does a lot to disassemble their adequacy. Yeah, the Daleks are so great and powerful, why can the Doctor just obliterate huge sums of them repetitively? Maybe because they suck? I like the effort they put in to disable the Dalek's laser while the Doctor's having a conversation with it. I don't know how many times I've yelled at the television, "Just shoot the Doctor!" while he's having an extended conversation with this enemy who just refuses to kill him, even though they easily could. So just that little detail made the story have more immersion for me.
Exterminate!
Blocking your laser signals, mate. You're not fully in sync yet.
I thought this story had really good pacing. The threat of this villain moved the narrative along at a quick pace. There were several exciting action sequences, and the story wasn't bogged down too much in character development between Ryan and his dad. I actually really like that this episode was set on New Year's Day as well. I know all the fanboys were up in arms about, "Oh no, Christmas special. Where's my Doctor Who Christmas? What am I gonna do on Christmas? Chibnall's betrayed us." I don't care. In fact, I like it. Call me Ebenezer Scrooge. But I'm just sick of cheesy, happy-go-lucky Doctor Who Christmas stories, eh? They do nothing for me anymore. Run! So the Dalek is melted by a microwave in this story. I should hate this, but I don't. It was fun. They went to the effort of setting it all up, and the story had enough other darker moments for me not to be like, no, not again. It worked. It worked.
Primary and secondary coils going from high voltage low ampage to low voltage very, very high ampage.
The Dalek hijacking Ryan's dad was a nice little twist that I didn't see coming. In the moment of it all going down with the intense music and the chaotic shaking camera, I honestly didn't know whether they were gonna kill off this character or not. It all felt full of tension, and I thought visually was beautiful and worked perfectly. In conclusion, I've stated several times before that new Dalek stories have become cliched and overplayed for me, but surprisingly, Chibnall managed to reinvent both the Daleks' look and write an engaging and different narrative which pulled me in. I thought that the music, the cinematography, the pacing was all great, and this story felt big and epic. It felt like it had a bigger budget and more expansive and exciting things happened. The payoff with Ryan and his dad was well set up over the last season, and I thought, mostly because of the well-written dialogue and the great acting, that it was very satisfying for me. I like how it all went down. Also, I thought Jodie had several moments where she shone in this episode, which is probably the most important thing of all, especially in this story, reintroducing the Daleks. Thank you for watching. Really help out if you like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you and good night.